Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome. If this message has found its way to you today, take a moment to slow down and breathe. Sometimes we search for answers, and sometimes the answers quietly find us. Whether you're here because someone has been weighing heavily on your heart, or because you've been sensing a shift in your connection, trust your intuition. There may be something in today's message that speaks directly to your soul. Let's tune into the energy surrounding this connection. The strongest feeling coming through isn't anger. It isn't resentment. It isn't even distance. It's fear. And sometimes fear is the loudest reason people choose silence. Many people assume that when someone becomes quiet, it means they've stopped caring. But Spirit is showing something very different. This person wasn't silent because you meant nothing. They were silent because you meant too much. They reached a point where every possible conversation played over and over in their mind. They imagined reaching out. They imagined explaining themselves. They imagined hearing your voice again. But every hopeful thought was followed by another question. What if they've moved on? What if they don't want to hear from me anymore? What if I've already lost them forever? Fear has an incredible way of convincing us that doing nothing is safer than risking disappointment. Instead of taking one difficult step forward, this person remained exactly where they were, not because they lacked feelings, because they were terrified of discovering it was too late. At first, silence may have seemed like protection. It felt easier to avoid uncomfortable emotions than to face them. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. Time continued moving, but their heart never really moved on. Instead, regret slowly took its place. Every memory became a reminder. Every special date carried a quiet ache. Every song, familiar place, or shared experience reminded them of what once existed between the two of you. The silence that once felt safe slowly became a burden they could no longer carry. There's something about regret that grows louder with time. It doesn't disappear simply because we ignore it. Eventually, it demands to be acknowledged. That's exactly where this person finds themselves now. Some emotions refuse to stay buried. No matter how busy life becomes, no matter how many distractions appear, the heart remembers what truly mattered. Spirit keeps showing someone replaying conversations in their mind, thinking about words they never said, apologies they never gave, love they never fully expressed. Sometimes people believe they'll have another opportunity, another day, another chance. But when that chance doesn't come as quickly as expected, those unspoken feelings begin following them everywhere. It's difficult to find peace when your heart is still carrying unfinished conversations. This person has been living with those unfinished emotions for much longer than anyone realizes. They've smiled while hurting. They've appeared strong while quietly missing someone who never truly left their heart. Something has shifted. A season of fear is slowly giving way to courage. The same silence that once protected them now feels more painful than honesty. That's an important turning point. Because real healing begins when people stop running from the truth. This person is beginning to understand that honesty may be uncomfortable, but living with unanswered questions is even harder. They don't want to spend years wondering what could have happened if they had simply spoken from the heart. Even if the conversation feels difficult, even if vulnerability feels unfamiliar, they're beginning to realize that truth offers something silence never could. Freedom. Freedom from pretending. Freedom from carrying emotional weight alone. Freedom to finally be seen as they truly are. Everyone carries emotional walls for different reasons. Some build them after heartbreak. Some build them after disappointment. Others build them because they've never learned how to express what they truly feel. Spirit shows me someone who convinced themselves that staying emotionally guarded was strength. But over time, they discovered something unexpected. Walls don't only keep pain out, they also keep love out. Every time they wanted to reach toward you, fear whispered another reason not to. Every time their heart wanted honesty, their mind found another excuse to wait. The longer they waited, the harder it became. Yet even the strongest walls eventually begin to crack. Because the heart wasn't created to remain locked forever. It was created to connect. This may be one of the most powerful messages in today's reading. This person is no longer searching for the easiest path. They're searching for the honest one. They understand that reaching out doesn't guarantee forgiveness. They understand they cannot erase the past. They understand trust takes time to rebuild. But they're finally willing to accept those realities. That shows emotional growth. Rather than expecting everything to return to normal overnight, they're prepared to take responsibility for what happened. Whether your response is warm, cautious, or uncertain, they feel it's better to know the truth than continue wondering forever. That willingness to face the outcome is something they didn't have before. Now they do. Even during separation, Spirit continues showing an invisible thread connecting both hearts. Life may have created physical distance. Silence may have created emotional distance. Time may have changed both of you. But some connections continue existing beneath the surface. Perhaps you've thought about them unexpectedly. Perhaps memories appear without warning. Perhaps certain songs or places still remind you of each other. These moments don't necessarily mean you're meant to relive the past exactly as it was. Instead, they remind us that meaningful connections often leave lasting impressions on the soul. Distance changes circumstances. It doesn't always erase significance. Sometimes separation becomes the very experience that teaches two people the value of what they shared. One of the most hopeful energies appearing today is emotional openness. The version of this person who once hid behind pride, who avoided difficult conversations, who convinced themselves silence was easier, that version is slowly disappearing. Life has humbled them. Experience has softened them. Reflection has changed them. They're becoming more willing to listen than defend, more willing to understand than argue, more willing to express love instead of assuming it should already be understood. Growth rarely happens all at once. It's built through countless moments of self-awareness. And Spirit shows someone who's finally allowing themselves to become emotionally available. Not because they're perfect, because they're ready. As this reading comes to a close, one message rises above everything else. Hope, not blind hope, not unrealistic expectations, but quiet hope rooted in healing, honesty, and personal growth. Whether this connection becomes a renewed relationship, a healing conversation, or simply the closure both of you needed, something meaningful is changing. The energy surrounding this connection feels lighter than before. Fear is slowly making room for courage. Silence is giving way to truth. Regret is transforming into action. And hearts that once stood on opposite sides of emotional walls are beginning to find common ground. Spirit gently reminds you that no relationship can thrive without honesty. No connection grows without vulnerability. And no new chapter begins unless someone is willing to take the first step. If this person reaches out, allow your intuition, not fear, to guide your response. Listen carefully. Observe their actions. Honor your own healing. You don't have to rush anything. Real transformation reveals itself over time. And if this connection is truly aligned with your highest good, it won't require you to sacrifice your peace to receive it. Remember this above all else. The strongest relationships aren't built by people who never make mistakes. They're built by people who are willing to learn from them, grow through them, and choose honesty over fear. Perhaps that's exactly what's unfolding now. A heart once hidden is finally learning to speak. A silence once filled with fear is finally giving way to truth. And where truth and healing meet, new beginnings often become possible. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If this message resonated with your heart, carry it with hope, but also with wisdom. Trust your intuition, continue choosing your own peace, and remember that the connections meant for your life will never ask you to lose yourself to keep them. Until next time, take care of yourself, stay open to healing, and may your path always lead you toward the love, clarity, and peace you deserve.